Hello, everybody. It's Coach Chris and Coach Marissa from Fortune Management of Nebraska. We're doing a recorded webinar for you on how to create a recovery plan after the COVID-19 situation has finally come to a close, and it will, right? So we're just going to see what we can do to get you best prepared to get back to work. We're both going to cover some things on what we do with our teams right now, what we do with our patients right now, what do we do with our time off, how do we manage that, and then of course, how do we get back into the best situation for workflow when we do get back into the offices. Um, so that's what we're here for today.
Hi, everybody. This is Marissa. One of the things that we wanted to start with is kind of the fact that this is an ever-changing environment right now. And we've all kind of seen through this week that we've made plans, and then an hour, sometimes a minute later, all of our plans are out the door because we have some new information or even some misinformation that's been going around. So what we know is that there's a lot of unknown right now. And unfortunately, in these situations, the unknown really lend themselves to fear and anxiety. And fear and anxiety lead to a lot of irrational thoughts. And so, unfortunately, we're making a lot of decisions based on fear right now. And so, some of that is what we want to clear up here. What we know is that our brains are always trying to find a way to win and complete a thought for us. And so, what we always tell our clients is that what we focus on grows. And so right now, unfortunately, most people are focusing on that fear and anxiety and the what ifs. And they're getting more of that fear and anxiety, and the what ifs are showing up more and more for them. So truly what we are asking is please work on your state management, what vocabulary you're using, what focus you have, and what your belief system is about this. This does not mean our year is over. So truly, we ask you to look back at your first quarter, celebrate your wins because we know you had some, and really be the leader that you need to be for your team. They're leaning on you right now, and because there is unknown, we tend to look at our leaders for that. And though it is an ultimate responsibility to be there for that team, please make sure that you're doing it in a way that really lends to your team feeling better and like they're well taken care of in a positive way. That being said, there really is a lot of help out there. And so, we'll get more into the different situations that are out there to help your team and you right now. But we just want to make a reminder to you that you got to take care of yourself. And some of that means limiting your diet of media and social media. And unfortunately, there's a whole lot more fear than there is fact out there right now. So just making sure that you're really focusing on what's real and what you need to know. And maybe taking this time that we have to connect with your kids, to play games, to read a book, or take that CE online that you've been wanting to take. There's all kinds of ways that we can kind of use this time right now in good ways rather than fearful ways. That being said, we really want to remind you to extend the most generosity to people right now, meaning to extend a generous interpretation of any possible intentions, words, or actions of people, because fear makes people act in a way that's not normal to who they are. And so we really say, just give people some space right now. And if they're acting or saying things that maybe aren't like them, it's probably due to the fear, and that's absolutely normal. We want to remind you that we're all feeling kind of like prisoners right now. And really we are. We're prisoners in our home. We're prisoners of circumstances. And one thing that prisoners bring up when they actually speak to prisoners is that they say that you either do the time or the time does you. And so that's why we want to remind you that we can truly spin this in a way that we're getting things done that we didn't have time to do, or connecting with people in a way in our home that we normally don't because we're running from here to there. So taking this time to really make sure that you really are doing the time and not having it do you.
Exactly. Um, We have a wonderful slide up here right now that says dental superheroes, but basically it's superheroes all around. Our doctors, our coworkers that are parents, we all feel like we have to be this wonderful superhero person to everyone that we take care of. So as doctors, we're taking care of our teams. As parents, we're taking care of our families. As siblings, we're taking care of our brothers and sisters. And as children, we're taking care of our parents. And right now, the times are so uncertain, we feel that pressure to take care of everybody. And it's a wonderful thing. That's what we do. That's why we go into the profession that we've chosen as dental health professionals, because we do want to take care of people. As a dental superhero, the best thing you can do is, just like Marissa said, have the right mindset, use the right language, encouragement on your team. It's okay to share fear. We're uncertain, and uncertainty creates fear. And it's okay to say, hey, I don't know what's going on, and neither do you, and we'll work through this together. Create a place for your employees to be able to share their fears and their uncertainty. We're used to providing a place for them to be employed, certain hours, certain income, a certain way we care for our patients, and that's all out the window right now. So the best things we can do is share our concern for the situation. Okay, do not share your concerns with your teams about, I don't know if we're going to be able to open back up. I don't know how I'm going to pay the mortgage. I don't know what we're going to do with all the equipment we just bought. Please don't share those things with your team. They don't need to know that stuff. But do share that encouragement that all will be well, and we will work together through this time and afterwards to bring our practice back to where we want it to be. So basically what we're going to be having to do is create certainty in uncertain times.
One of the main things that we're hearing from our teams and our docs is that, how are we going to pay our bills? How are we going to make ends meet? Because we don't even know when we can go back to work. And we've all had that throughout the country of, oh, it's going to be a couple days, it's going to be a week, it's going to be a whatever, fill in the time frame. So truly, as Chris was saying, as much as you want to be that superhero that's helping them pay their bills and creating that certainty for them, what we don't want you to do is put yourself in a position where you don't know how you're going to pay your bills, your personal bills, because you continue to pay payroll for people who aren't there. So we have plenty of offices that have been working on applying for unemployment, and some have already received unemployment. We are definitely recommending this to our teams and our docs. We have had questions, what if we're doing emergency care a couple of times a week and how then my employee can't file for full unemployment? That's true, and they can apply for partial unemployment benefits, and that can substitute some of that income. So there's that. The other piece is that docs, you can, if you pay yourself as a W-2 employee of your company, also file for partial or full if you've had to shut down, or if we have to in the future shut down completely, unemployment. So there's something to look at as well. One thing that we'll recommend you do before you have anyone apply for unemployment, if you haven't already, is reach out to your payroll company. There is some information that your payroll company might need to arm you with before your employees go out and file for unemployment. There has been some doctors that have had their teams file for unemployment and they haven't done their part to fill in the information that they need to move the process along quickly. So we urge you to make sure that you're doing your part as well. They'll go on and file for unemployment, and then they'll need you to go on and approve it essentially on your side. So please make sure you're looking out for that and doing that quickly for your teams. We have also heard that some people have had some really issues with the influx of people being on these websites. They've been crashing. We highly recommend and have seen it work to set your alarm for 2 or 3 in the morning so that you can wake up and there's not as much traffic on the site. We realize how crazy that is, but crazy times kind of demand crazy measures. So if you can do that, we've seen some influx of people being able to get through quickly and move along in that process.
Another thing that we would love for you to share with your team members, as well as for yourself, is talking to lenders. So your rent, your mortgage, your business loan, if you have a building loan, or if you're student loans, equipment loans, car payments, credit cards, all of these things, reach out to the people that manage those for you and say, hey, can we have a deferment on this? We know, Marissa and I know that Bank of America, Sunflower, Live Oak, Wells Fargo are all granting anywhere from 60 to 90 days deferment, sometimes even longer, on these practice loans and credit cards and things like that. The thing is like most things, they don't want you to just assume that it's going to be done, so they're making you ask, and that's okay. Just reach out to them. They will have you do a few things paperwork wise, and then we're seeing a really great support from these lenders in suspending any payments in this time of need. And again, as we said, that doesn't just go for you, the doctors, on all your business things. It can go for your private things at home, like your home loan for your mortgage, and for your team as well. A lot of the lenders are suspending without penalty in many cases, any payments owed to them.
Yeah, so I think the biggest piece is that the best way we can kind of relate this to in recent history is 2008 recession. The good news and the difference between this and that is that the banks in 2008 were the ones that didn't have the money. And now it's the people. So banks, they want us to have money. They want us to keep the economy rolling in the right direction, so that we've really seen a lot of different programs to help, especially the small business owner, because truly that's what makes up most of America's economy. So looking at that, what they have offered is some SBA relief programs. Now, I will caution you that this is a loan for small businesses and the self-employed, and they are very small interest rates. And what we've seen is that it can help some of those small businesses that maybe need some loans to pay for whatever that isn't kind of on a relief program right now, or any deferment. So obviously we would say call your lenders first, see what deferments you can get. But if it is at all needed, those SBA relief programs are out there for small business owners, and something very important to kind of reach for. The other piece that we've really seen our docs leaning on is business interruption insurance. We realize that we've had some docs reach out for business interruption insurance, and they have told them that they can't because they haven't had any property damage. And what we're really recommending is that you call them back and demand that they put a claim, if they file a claim on your behalf. Truly what we're hearing is that the feds are going to come out and step in and help out for small business interruptions, especially for small businesses. And so call your business personal property insurance, let them know that you're wanting to file a claim, and demand it if it's needed. Some people, once they call their lenders and they have their team under unemployment, may not need that, but it's out there, and you can absolutely demand it. They have plenty of relief funds that have been given to insurance companies and banks to help people. So if you don't ask, the answer is no, is what we always say. So definitely reach out, ask, and see what you can get out of those situations.
Another thing our federal government has done is stepped in, because it is tax time, as we all know, and given us a reprieve on our federal taxes. And what that means is we still must file our taxes, federal and state, as normal when they were due. Business was due March 15th, personal is due April 15th. Those still must be filed. And if you owe the federal government, they are postponing that payment till July 15th. If you owe state, you must check with your state. At this point, I believe all the states still have to do their payments on time. But federally, you do have a deferred payment. Federally, for our business owners who pay quarterly taxes, that first quarterly tax that in April, the April 15th quarterly tax payment is also deferred to July 15th. Just know that you're going to do that payment in July. So federally, yes, you're going to have a deferment on any payment you owe the government, and then on your first quarterlies. Again, please check with your state, because as far as Marissa and I both know, the states are just still running the same. Again, everything changes from hour to hour, so that can change very quickly for us. The last thing we would love to help you with creating certainty in uncertain times is call your marketing companies. Those of you that are using marketing companies for your offices, please call them and suspend all marketing. Many times they will do that for you and just waive payment for a couple of months. Sometimes they'll take the 1 or 2 months that you take off of marketing and tack it on to the end of your contract if you have one. But right now is not the time for us to be doing marketing, especially in these uncertain times where patients just don't even know, what's going on. We don't want to be saying, hey, come in and do a whitening, or hey, come in and, do a free hygiene visit, or, get your x-rays and exams and things like that. So do suspend your Facebook marketing, your online marketing, your YouTubes, your pay-per-clicks, all of those things. That will be another financial burden that'll be lifted from you for this next couple of months. And it's really just not needed and not appropriate, at this time.
So what's next? I think what's most important to focus on right now is this too shall pass, right? And I know that we don't know when or how, but we do know it will. So what can we be doing now, and what should we be looking for in the future? So one of the things that we recommend highly is that you really have somebody call on your outstanding insurance claims. We have not yet walked into an office where they have 0 outstanding insurance claims, unfortunately. And so what we say is that is easy money, guys. All we need to do is take the time to look at what they're asking for, call on denials, whatever it is, but that can be money that's sitting in your pocket. So even having someone working remotely, insurance companies are open right now, and there's not a whole lot of people calling. So those hold times are going to be shorter. We'll get actual reps to talk to. So now's the time to get some of that money. Obviously, it's not appropriate to reach out to any patient owing you money because people are hanging onto their money tight right now, which is totally understandable. But insurance companies we can absolutely reach out to. So that's a good spend of time to get that done. Choosing a safe date right now. So what we're telling our clients is what we've heard recently, and again, guys, these things are changing moment to moment, is that we're going to be able to go back in the offices by April 17th. So with that, knowing that kind of caveat that we're not 100% sure about that, what we think is safe is taking your patients from now until that time frame and moving them into the first week of May. Now, what we will tell you to keep in mind is we need to make sure that we have some plan to add time, right? So where are we going to put those hygiene patients? Some of our clients, if they don't work Fridays, are adding Fridays. Some of our clients, if they work 5 days a week, are looking at where they can add hygiene time, maybe on team hygiene or accelerated hygiene. There are a million different ways that we can add time. So if you need any help kind of coming up with a plan, please reach out to us and we can help you with that. We definitely want to avoid lists. We do not want to have to call patients later to reschedule them. We know that some teams are, making lists of people and not rescheduling, just canceling them. And what we know is it takes about 17 phone calls to get one person back on the schedule. That is a lot of manual labor. And when we get back to business as usual, having time to call those people and keep track of them and making sure they get in is not something we're going to have the luxury of. So just making sure we have that plan, get people on the books, use good verbiage when rescheduling. We have on here an option of some verbiage. You can absolutely screenshot it, or if you reach out to us at the end and want us to email it to you so you can customize it. What we ask is that whomever is calling these patients, have them use the same verbiage. We're not big fans of making everybody kind of on a script, and we want to make sure that we're giving the same, less fearful factual verbiage to every single person. We want to make sure that message gets out to our patients to be the same. So just making sure that you're really having people with a plan and how we're going to reschedule those patients.
Awesome. Preparing for closure of our physical building. So this isn't just our teams, which we've been discussing and what we can do for ourselves, but our physical building. Patterson Dental has given us a couple of lovely sheets here that can help you make sure that when you come back to your practices, everything is in working order. So these two we are happy to send you. Just reach out to us, or if you want to do a screenshot now, have at it. But a lot of these things are just really great, like I said, just really great protocols that if we're going to be gone, we want to come back to wonderful things. One of the things that we don't think about is that we should be returning to the office every 3 to 4 days. Number one, to make sure nothing weird happened. In our cold climate, that we live in, we are in March. We do get a lot of frozen pipes and things like that. We do want to make sure that everything is okay there. We also want to run our vacuums and our compressors for a while and run the sink at the plaster trap for a few minutes. Otherwise, you're going to come back to a very nice smell, after we've been gone for a week or 2 or 3 or whatever it ends up being. So again, screenshot this, or we're happy to send it to you as well. Also, those of you who do use CEREC, here are some things that you can do to make sure that your CEREC machine is going to be well maintained and be able to just be turned on and up and running when we come back into the office. Again, screenshot this, feel free, or just reach out to us at the end and we're happy to send you both of these. The one thing we don't often think about, however, is our IT systems. So preparing for closure for our IT, and Medix Dental has been wonderful for our clients. They sent this out to all of their clients that they have on what to do when you have to leave the office for a significant period of time. And as you can see, it says leave the workstations on with the server. That way they can continue to do proactive maintenance and updates and things like that. If you shut them down, if they have pending updates or any any software updates that come through, you're going to waste all that time while you're trying to be up and running again, getting all these updates in place so you can work. So this is why we leave them up, is so that we can update them while we're gone. Any software upgrades, again, that's another reason to leave them on. And then setting up a remote access. You can't shut down your system and have a remote access. So if your office manager or the doctor or your insurance person wants to do anything in the software, that software has to be up and running at the office for them to be able to do that. So this was Medix Dental's suggestion. Marissa and I both encourage you, please call your IT company and make sure that this stands for them too. Just call them and say, hey, we're not going to be in the office. What do we need to do to make sure that we're up and running and ready to go when we come back in?
Please know, you guys, we are always here to support you. Chris and I come from complete abundance, and you do not have to be a client of ours for us to help you through these times. We realize everybody needs support now more than ever. So please, as you navigate through this, feel free to reach out. Here is Chris and my email. If you want any more further information on what we've covered, or you have a completely different question, if we do not know the answer, we will do our very best to get you the answer and just be here for you through this unfortunate time.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great couple of weeks, and we hope to see you soon on the other side.